My deepest fear is not that I am inadequate. My deepest fear is that I am powerful beyond measure. It is my light, not my darkness, that most frightens me. I ask myself, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who am I not to be? I am a child of the universe, and my playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around me. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of the universe that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as I let my own light shine, I unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As I am liberated from my own fear, my presence automatically liberates others. Well, hello. Welcome to a new podcast. This is Deb Karen. I am the founder of deMysticism, and what you just listened to was a take on Marrianne Williamson's famous passage. I believe it's from her book, A Woman's Worth. I adapted it to be first person. Using this currently, I've done this actually for many years, but fell off of it for a while, but using this as an opportunity to step into a new phase of life and using that as an audio track that I run as a personal meditation. And I invite you to perhaps look at doing the same. So I have launched into this podcast. I'm going to have a conversation with anyone who's willing to listen about stepping into our deepest fears, and most specifically, a current journey that I am on, exploring what I think at least a good portion of women might understand, the witch wound. And I've been having some very, very interesting experiences in my own journey here that I just am in the process of unpacking, and thought maybe some people would like to be along for a front row seat for an interesting ride. I don't know how this is going to unfold. This is going to be a very organic kind of exploration, diving in. So a little backstory. It is today, I am recording this on June 30th of 2025. So we are halfway through what has already been an epic year. I have a practice that I've been doing for several years now where I create a year ahead oracle spread using different decks every year and kind of look at what themes do I want to work with for the year? Where am I looking to grow? And it's a very, very interesting practice to then at the end of the year go back and reflect and see how things have evolved. And it has been mind-blowing for the year of 2025. So I would, you can find my stuff on Instagram where you would be able to see my, maybe I'll try to find a way to link it, but the year ahead that I did at the start of 2025. And it was all around the world needs your true colors. It's time to become who you are. It is safe for you to relax. And at the time, start of 2025, I was in a full-time corporate job, a very well-paying, seemingly secure job that I enjoyed. I worked with great people, I had a pretty good life. And I have always had this side business that you are part of now, witnessing now, deMysticism. I do sound healing, Reiki, teach yoga. I'm evolving into one-on-one coaching and will be launching some corporate wellness programs. But it was always a side business. Now, we get partway into 2025. I'll explore other events that have happened, I guess, over the course of this year as we dive into this. But right now, I really want to talk about specifically manifestation as it relates to career path and purpose. And I was starting to feel a little misaligned with corporate life, which has always been the story of my adult life. I don't like working for other people. I am not meant to be a corporate girl. This healing space is where my true heart lies. And I have always wanted to pursue this as my livelihood, and yet I've had some blocks around that, which again, things we can dive into more deeply, but I want to try to keep this somewhat focused. So, long story short, I started to get a little bit frustrated. I will say short story long because I probably won't make a long story short, but I was starting to feel a little frustrated in that space. And I had literally used the words, I would just like for them to eliminate my position and give me a severance package. It was, I don't want to bash on my former employer. It's very easy to figure out who that was. So I'm going to try to keep myself quiet in that regard. However, about 2 weeks after I had made that declaration, I got laid off. My position was eliminated. I was given a severance package, and I cried for about 10 or 15 minutes, called my boyfriend, was like, I can't believe this just happened, and then realized, wait a second, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. It's beautiful. This was on April 1st, April Fool's Day, which was interesting. And so for a couple of weeks, I was in this joyous space of, oh my gosh, here's my opportunity. I'm going to create everything. And at the same time, I had started to develop this skin rash that started, it was on my face. It was kind of starting to show up on my arms. It was a little mysterious as to what it was. Just going through all these different theories as to what was affecting my body. I thought maybe it was an allergy to a new drink that I had introduced into my habits and cut that out. It seemed to subside, but then came back, just all these different explorations, and nothing seemed to truly help it go away. So, now we are in June. So this was April. And over the past few weeks, there has been a lot of recognition within me around, several things related to healing. So one being, oftentimes when we finally get a chance to slow down and rest, that is when our bodies say, and now we have time to confront all of the things that you've been suppressing. Because I am recognizing now that although I never admitted it, I've got a lot of anxiety in my body. I was carrying a lot of fear, and I am a fucking master at squashing that, at ignoring it, at stepping into, no, I'm here to help others. I step into the teacher role. I step into the healer role. And with that, I tend to pretend everything's beautiful in my own body and my own experience, and not allow myself to feel what wants to be felt for me. And at some point, your body will say, no, where you need to address this. And it often comes in the times where you actually get an opportunity to quiet down. So I have been tackling this incredible, itchy, mysterious rash that now I'm starting to find some relations to gut microbiome and treating it nutritionally, treating it. I'm a very holistic healer. I don't really like to do pharmaceuticals. And please don't comment and give me advice. This is not what I'm looking for here. I'm just sharing a story. And however you choose to heal your body or address your experiences, I am not here to judge. I just know for me, I usually will lean into as holistic of an approach as I can. And I deeply believe that our illnesses are almost solely manifested as a result of the internal environment. So I think that fear and anxiety, shame and guilt, these are some of the lowest vibration emotions that we can live in. And I think that is why my body is having a reaction, because I was in those spaces previously unwilling to recognize that. And now it's a little undeniable, and I'm managing that. However, also looking at some of the more mysterious pieces of how things show up in our body, the time that we are in this world. And I kind of hate some of the language around the veil is thinning, but goddamn, the veil is thinning, y'all. It's, there's some stuff that I will say is very real in my experience, and perhaps strange to admit, whatever, my business is called deMysticism. I am hoping to take some of that mystery out of the mysticism. Like, this stuff is real. It does impact us. So back to symptoms in my body and what I want to maybe look at as the witch wound. So what's interesting about this experience that I have been having with a rash that started originally showing up on my arms is now mostly in my shoulders, a little bit on my upper back, like where I would sprout wings is what I keep saying, but most predominantly right around my neck. And it's right literally like where you would have a rope burn if you were hung by a noose. And I think that the universe is telling me that I, in a previous life, have been hung by a noose, that I was probably hung as a witch, persecuted for my gifts. And there is a lot of fear. It aligns with stepping into a new paradigm, a new way of creating work, for lack of a better word, for serving the world. It is, it's a little scary. And I had a beautiful friend point out to me the other night, you're fearing your own power, because you literally said you wanted to be laid off. You wanted to get a package. You wanted that change, and it, bam, happened. And so, yeah, why would I not be fearing a witch wound? Why would I not be fearing that I am powerful beyond measure? And what the heck does that mean? At the same time, I've created an illness in my body because we all have that power. So I'm going to keep this brief in this moment. I just want to kind of do these little stints, and I don't know how this is going to evolve, and if you're even interested in listening, and I'll see where this conversation goes for me. But in addition to recognizing that mark keeps showing up as kind of looks like a rope burn, I have been physically experiencing the sensation of a rope around my neck. Sleep has been very elusive, and quite often, as soon as I lay down to rest, I get these very, very strong images of being hung, and I get the sensation of a very rough, like thick twine kind of rope around my neck, and I can see it and I can feel it. The other very interesting detail about all of this is that I was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. So I was literally born strangled. As far as I know, my head was blue. I was losing oxygen. I am seemingly fine today, although clearly carrying some interesting wounds. So I am one to dive into some of the more alternative spaces and looking to heal this. So I have some things planned this coming week that I will decide if I want to talk openly about, but probably will, because I think it's important to be vulnerable. I think it's important to share the experiences that we're going through, particularly the ones that could get you locked up in the loony bin, because if I share this with the wrong person, they might put me in the insane asylum. If I got persecuted for this in a past life, I sure as heck don't want to invite that in again. I think we live in a different world. I think that who is meant to hear this will hear this, and it will land with compassion and perhaps gratitude if you're having some similar experiences, because I do think energetically we are shifting. For anyone who is empathic, who does tap into or embrace the intuitive gifts that I truly believe we all have, I know you're feeling it. I know that all of my friends in this space are feeling it. And I'm aware that everyone in my life is having physical symptoms. They're all showing up differently, but our bodies are challenged to keep up with how quickly the world is changing, how quickly the systems are crumbling, and new ways of living are going to be revealed. So I don't know that I have a logical conclusion to this podcast today in this moment. However, what I am going to lean into is, if you are hearing this, if you are also experiencing some things that are making you kind of question your reality, or things that are feeling like, God, am I self-sabotaging? Like, why can I not move myself in the direction that I want to go? Because this is another thing I'm hearing from a lot of friends that others are also experiencing. So, one, just to know that, you know what, you're not in this alone. I am here to be support. I am creating supportive offerings, whether it's yoga, sound healing. Again, I'm going to lean into some one-on-one coaching, and I don't want this to be a sales pitch, but just letting everyone know that there's others out there. If you're having these experiences, I want you to lean into having conversations about it, because if we don't share, we don't know. And I also am doing my best to really show up and put myself out there. And it's difficult because it's June, and I was pretty committed to showing up on social media and really being out there. One, because that is, I guess, the strongest form of marketing we have in this day and age, to let people know that I do have something that I'm offering out in the world, but at the same time to show up and be a support, to witness others, to be witnessed. And I haven't been able to do it. I've just been really brought down by the experiences that I'm having. And I think, again, just sharing, because we tend to put our highlight reels out there and everything looks peachy. And I am so guilty of that too. I can make my life look really freaking fabulous, and no one knows that I'm freaking crying in the middle of the night and I can't sleep and I'm wondering if I'm losing my mind, and I don't know what my future looks like, and everything is scary. And at the same time, I am in complete trust that it is unfolding as it should. I vacillate there. But more to come. This is just an introduction. A lot of rambling. I'll have more structure as I move into this. But I just wanted to start here. And the deepest fear meditation, I will post that solo, probably out on my website. I'm going to find a way for you to be able to download it. If it is something, it's like a minute and a half, right? Something that you might want to lean into, or take those words and create it in your own voice. Create a track for yourself. You can just record it in your phone and lean into the idea that you are powerful beyond measure. And when you can step into that, when you can own your weird, crazy, powerful self, you are giving others permission to do the same. And it's a rough time out in the collective. It's an interesting time in the world, energetically, in the stars, all of that. So if you want to be one of those that helps to elevate, you've got to nurture yourself first. You've got to be willing to look at yourself and step into your power. I'm saying these words as prescriptions for myself as well. So let's make each other accountable. We've got this. We are all powerful beyond measure. Sending everyone out there love, peace. I wish everyone an easy experience in your soul. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Namaste.